So back to student learning. Last evening, after I wrapped up all my meetings after the seminar, and was out walking my golden retriever, Neo, who weighs about 110 pounds, I felt this wave of optimism, knowing that we are collectively focusing on what is really near and dear to the heart of every academic, and that is learning. To use the guided pathways language, pillars 1 and 4, clarifying the path and ensuring learning, both are directly tied to our understanding of all aspects of learning. The storyline of our work is based on these two pillars, and the cast of characters include institutions, what are colleges doing in terms of setting up systems, the curriculum process, faculty, the pedagogies faculty select, assessment, as both Stephanie and Dolores talked about, and students. Eloy and Tia McNair talked about meeting the students where they are, taking that teaching to the learner. So before we tell the story of our learning landscape, perhaps we should consider some what I call fundamental truths. So truth number 1, humans are learning all the time. Learning is unavoidable. Whether the learning is organized in the classroom in course buckets or Carnegie units, or they are organized in terms of competencies within the framework of competency-based education, whether a student club on our campus is doing a book read, or on a more informal note, there could be a family at a dinner table talking about the elections, and another family could be talking about the work at the hospital, about a mom dealing with a 2-year-old with a growth in her brain, and what does that mean? It could be a conversation about how should grapes be harvested, which is indeed the conversation for many of the individuals who are our students at Bakersfield College that do harvesting in the fields in Delano and in McFarland. So learning happens everywhere. How do we recognize learning? Truth number 2, our formal learning systems are a result of public trust and quality assurance. In the United States, the public has entrusted us academics with a sacred responsibility, the responsibility of creating a system of learning, a system that is current and well understood, a system that must strive to continue to keep the confidence of the public, and a system that is verified by peer review accreditation process for the purpose of quality assurance. And this system results in significant resources, Title IV financial aid flowing from the public back to those institutions that are accredited. So my personal story as it relates to clarifying the path and ensuring learning spans 2 continents, 2 cultures, and multiple roles. The role of a student, the role of a faculty, a vice president, and now a president. As a Math faculty member, I was focused on advancing students' understanding of mathematics. When you think of mathematics, the study of counting, numbers, structures, which is algebra, spatial dimensions, which is geometry, and motion, which is calculus. So most of my education in mathematics was in India, and even though I do believe that math is a universal language and an extremely beautiful language at that, still when I came to grad school as a foreign student at USC, I had to reorient how that language was socially constructed here in the United States. Our second speaker for today, Cecilia Rios Aguilar, would call this my fund of knowledge, what I brought with me from India, it was my fund of knowledge, which is an accumulation of discipline knowledge and the lived experience in India, plus other aspects. When I became Vice President of Instruction, I started understanding the larger framework of institutional learning outcomes, and I went beyond my own discipline. And I started understanding the development of general cognitive abilities that cut across all disciplines like critical thinking and communication being generally accepted as important skills. My teacher was Clifford Adelman. Many of you would recognize his name. He was one of the authors of the degree qualifications profile that was branded with what I call the spider web diagram with 5 vertices: intellectual skills, specialized knowledge, broad integrative knowledge, applied and collaborative learning, and civic and global learning. So you can see with these 5 dimensions of the DQP that there are some value statements coming into cognitive development. In addition to Adelman, the other 3 authors are Peter Ewell from NCHEM, Paul Gaston from Kent State University, Carol Geary Schneider from AAC&U. And our speaker for session 1, Natasha Jankowski, was one of those who helped develop the DQP. So the experiences that I had cultivated over time, it all came together for me on February 7th, 2020, about 10 months ago, when Yarrick Yanyo asked me to speak at the SLO Symposium in Monterey. A month before the symposium, Stephanie and I attended the CHIA conference in Washington, D.C. in person. It was pre-COVID. I had been immersed in student learning as a faculty and then as Vice President of Instruction. And then when I became president in 2013, I got laser focused on student achievement, that is completion of a degree or a certificate. And thanks to Yarrick, I found myself reverting back to that part of me that had been sidelined for some time. One of the speakers who really inspired me was Jamil Salmi, and he stated that quality assurance should go beyond academic excellence to take into consideration equity, social engagement, ethics, and the pursuit of truth. This moves us into the realm of values. Is it the business of academics to inculcate values within the curriculum, the pedagogy, the assessment of learning? Or should it be restricted just to cognitive development? Is it the business of all of us, faculty, administrators, staff, and students? Should we all come together to play a role in socially constructing this learning environment? The answer to me is a resounding yes. And that is why I titled my talk in February as #Occupy Learning. So let's continue expanding these circles to include more students, more diverse roles within the academy, as well as our friends in the business and industry roles. As I said 10 months ago, the time has come. Pillars 1 and 4 take center stage. So let's boldly occupy learning.